What's up, guys? Vince right here, recording this as I'm about to go into a party. I miss doing the whole VTuber thing, but the thing is that certain timing and stuff like that, because there's a lot of events going on, especially during when it gets warmer and stuff, whether it's birthdays or family stuff or my job or something like that. It's kind of like things are sort of like picking up, I guess. So doing the whole VTuber takes a set to actually do that, and especially on my app reality, which I was supposed to like stream on it, but I haven't been on the app in a while. It's kind of like there's certain times where I take a break from it or whatever, and it's not a bad app, but it's actually it's my VTuber app. I just come there and just put pictures of just like my face and my model, because I've been wanting to actually found a model, and which pretty much put me in a situation where I'm like, oh, might as well actually do VTubing in a sense. And yeah, pretty much I haven't done it ever since. I've been really debating. There's a lot of perks when it comes down to ever showing my face on this channel, which is something that I still try to debate. I'm not comfortable. I don't really like, not that, I'm not that like, shocked if people do find out. But the thing is that I want it to be a special thing. And also, when the time comes, I want to make sure I look good. Like, I've been eating healthy. I've been losing weight. I've been trying my best to actually, I don't know, like, build muscles and just, clean my skin and stuff like that. And, or at least look more attractive, because I sort of like always think about that expectation a lot of times. But I mean, I'm not getting any younger. So I don't know, like soon at some point. But the thing is that I really want to actually show my face. Once I hit like 10,000, that'll be the time to do it. But there's times where I feel like it might happen, especially when it's in my journey of like becoming an ambassador or working with Webtoon. There's times where I kind of have to, because what am I gonna wear if I can't like show my face or anything? Like, I can't do events, I can't do like fan meetups and stuff. And I really want to do that, but of course that requires me showing my face. And I really don't, I feel weird, very weird of showing my face. Like, for those that don't know, my voice doesn't match of what I look. That's another thing. And also, people are just, once again, because I'm biracial, people are going to be confused of like what I am, because I guess they never seen like a half, Asian white person before. And it's a weird kind of mix, because I don't know really how I see myself. I always had an identity crisis of like who I am. Basically, am I a stand-up comedian? Am I a street dancer, a street performer? Am I a book writer, or a DJ? Like, I don't know what I am. I have so many hats that a lot of times it's hard to close the closet because of just the amount of hats I have, and that's just me personally. But yeah, it's a lot of times I don't know, like, and showing my face, man, that's gonna I don't know if I can live with that, but I kind of wanna. So there's like this whole debate of showing my face or not. But I always like to keep the mystery, because the moment I do show my face, it kind of breaks the illusion or something like that. But who knows? It might be soon. It's a debate. It's something that has been in my head, so I don't know where to start with that. I just did something. I pretty much did a little cleanup, like, what is it, spring cleanup. And what I meant by that, it's not like usually every like year or months in my neighborhood here, where I live, and at least here in San Francisco, that I would just do like a daily cleanup of just stuff that from the house, that where it's utilities or plastics, like large amounts. And there was a large amount that I did, and pretty much my father helped me actually clean all that up, getting rid of stuff at the yard. So I've been doing that, which is weird because I'm about to like move soon, and I don't know about the update for that one, of course. I pretty much it's I just we went to all the way to like this area to dump all that stuff, and it's like a little, what is it, like, I almost said graveyard. It's like a freaking garbage area, garbage master or something like that. There's a name for it that I can't think of the moment. Some people are like, oh, you went to the dump, yeah, there's certain words that I just never ever say Honestly, like never in my life I talk about going to some freaking yard dump. Okay, I remember that was like common at least some shows, TV shows, and cartoons that I watched back in the past. Like something about like, oh, we're going to the yard or whatever from Stump the Yard, the dump yard, or whatever it's called. That's basically where I went to dump it all. And can I just say, I almost got killed. There was just like this freaking bulldozer that drove off and almost freaking squished me. Okay, it's almost annihilate me. Damn, that was not a happy like serious. Like it was just crazy in there, just the amount of people that were dumping their garbage and stuff like that. But my goodness, I almost ended up in the hospital, almost because this freaking bulldozer won't slow down. Typical American, raw-ish. Pretty much like just I don't know. There's this area in where I live in California where it's like almost like southern, in a sense, if that makes sense. Where it's almost western, and pretty much everyone else looks like they're like either from a cowboy cast or whatever, and or like Red Dead Redemption, and it just feels like I almost like I'm in the Wild West throwing all this stuff away, but then I almost get trampled by like stuff from some people throw, almost hit me in the face with it. I almost got like chest hit with some of the stuff that I was trying to carry because you have to be in a hurry when you do that. And also, of course, the bulldozer. But I'm alive. I'm still here. So that's a good thing. Um, Other than that, what stuff should I really talk about here? Oh, yeah, I've been biking. So that's an activity I've been doing. I've been going out more than ever. So I kind of needed more allergy medicine because allergies here are just extreme. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but it's been a good time. Man, just those moments of biking and different trails that I discovered. And I've been going places almost to the point where I almost went to Sacramento again with, my bike, even though I'm down here in the Bay. But yeah, other than that, I actually, for some reason, want to update Stefan, but I feel like we might do a podcast soon. Stefan being my co-host, editor, and producer and stuff like that. There's some good old, like, pretty much I want to update within the Discord. Follow me there, and just good old fun. Pretty much, not a lot of people are really speaking at all or talking. I hate the fact that there's just people that would say something there, like comment, and then just are gone, just disappeared, because they it'd be like that. What else? Oh yeah, I've been streaming. I've been live streaming pretty much like either 3 or 2 times a week, or at least this week I've been doing it 2 times. And any moment I get, yeah, I just been live streaming, playing games. I played Breath of the Wild for the first time. It was not smooth. The game was okay. The game was running well, but the OBS recorder or something that I used to broadcast the whole entire stream was actually making it slow down. So that happened. At least I showed proof like, hey, I'm playing Breath of the Wild. And I want to say this. It's Zelda Breath of the Wild, of course. That's basically, there's a full name for it, whatever. I call it Breath of the Wild, okay? I'm not saying the whole entire freaking name, But I'm not a Zelda person. I'm really not. I don't know what to tell you. I never been a fan of Zelda. I never really cared. I did play the games. I mean, I only played maybe at least a good majority during the Game Boy, but that's just it. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't hit for me. Then again, most Nintendo games never ever hits for me, okay? I'm a PlayStation person. I always been a fan of Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. PlayStation is kind of like a resemblance of me in a sense, which is cool because for me with especially me with Stefan is Xbox and I'm PlayStation, and we just we get along, which most people should get along. Even though I kind of dabble with PC and been around here and there in Nintendo games or emulators, but other than that, I'm always loyal, in something that really had me within gaming in such a bigger way was always Sony. Moving on, I heard about this whole news, and we're about to get into the news, I guess. This whole thing about the whole Crowder divorce, and I try not to talk about politics. there's been times where I attempted to, that I thought I might got it, that I thought I can do it good, like, Don Lemon or Chris Tucker, even though they're gone, I don't know if I should say thank God or whatever. But both of these, hard hitters within the political game, as I call it, they're gone. I don't know I don't know what's happening, but that's like really like putting your best players out. It's like, like, oh, Stephen Curry's not going to join the Warriors, or LeBron's not going to be part of Lakers, or, that kind of example. And for this news particularly that I want to talk about, it's centered around, from what I've seen, because I've been seeing a lot surrounding it. I follow many people that actually do talk about it, like Philip DeFranco, Tipster, and, some people within, like, Brett Cooper. But I heard some, like, thoughts, and I'm not really going to get into it. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not really going to give you, like, all the allegations or whatever happened to this. I'm just going to give you my thoughts because I heard about it, I just heard about it. It's just short and sweet. And, man, let me tell you, listen, I watch a lot of political commentators. Never have I ever liked Crowder. He just seems like a complete psycho to me. Like, there's just something about, especially with that time when he recorded a call or whatever, without permission. Like, he just seems sketch to me. And of course he would be, because he got into an argument with his wife that was pregnant, talking about, like, because a pointless argument, saying that, to the wife, because the wife wanted, the pregnant wife, by the way, of Crowder, wants to actually use the car to do some stuff, because she wants to get groceries or something, like some errands. I don't know. But then Crowder got into an argument saying, like, no, you will not, because what am I going to do? Or something like that. And then he goes off about, like, oh, you should have the, like, gender roles or something like that. Like, he's to speak. Like, geez, like Crowder talking about, like, oh, you're, as a woman, as you're doing unwifely things. So what is this? Is this the Taming of the Shrew? If you don't know what that is, that's a Shakespeare that I'm studying in one of my exams or whatever, and it's kind of interesting. When it comes down to anybody, like the Taming of the Shrew, let me tell you the concept of the story. You can always look it up on YouTube and stuff like that. But basically, why did I mention Taming the Shrew of this whole Crowder thing going on, especially when it's surrounding a divorce or allegations of, like, abuse or whatever? This is something right here. And pretty much Taming the Shrew is a story by Shakespeare by years ago in like, in ancient Italy, or something like that. Seems like ancient, not really ancient like, the Roman side of Italy, but far enough to actually have seen cities or whatever. But it's during a time of, like, the story that takes place of these two brides or maids or whatever, these two girls that wanted to be married, thanks to the father that wants to actually have them married, introduce them to a bunch of guys that are in the city within this little small town in Italy. And then some douche, as I would call it, wanted to actually marry this one lady that is not so lucky, but also people are paying attention to the little sister of this lady, and actually it basically is a story of just how this guy that wanted to marry this lady that is just, like, uncontrolling, of just how showing the terrors of marriage in a sense, showing, like, oh, if the only way for her to fall in love with me is that I have to make her suffer or something like that. That concept within Taming of the Shrew. There's better ways of explaining it, but this is a freaking VinzTalk. I'm not here to actually give no synopsis about a freaking old school Shakespeare, but I just thought about it, and it really reminds me. It reminds me of Taming of the Shrew from the whole divorce and thing. This crowd kind of like controversy, because it's basically like almost playing at that, like, it's like as if, like, Crowder wanted to, make sure that the wife doesn't leave or something like that, and just gaslights her. And if you've seen the video, the footage, there's this footage out there that shows that, and it is just so worse, because at first he was announcing it in Crowder's channel about, like, hey, we're going to a divorce, and I don't know what to do, and he's, like, scared, and we're supposed to have mercy of him or whatever. But then the true color shows out of this, from what I believe, and this is what I believe, it's from a freaking security cam. And from what I believe, I feel like the wife actually took the chip off the security cam. And also there's like, a mic and something like that, just to show proof that Crowder is, well, as just like the Tame of the Shrew, a complete douche, and also just happens to be abusive towards his wife, and showing proof of that. And man, was it proof. Man, was it something that I seen where I'm like, this can't be real. This, like, arguing for a pregnant to your pregnant wife about, like, just wanting to, like, because you want to use the car for your selfish needs. Talking about, like, Crowder even complains about, I can't go with my friends, I can't see my family. And I'm just like scratching my head. I'm like, dude, you could just freaking wait for her. She's going to the freaking groceries. Where do you need to be? Are you serious? And Crowder said, like, you need to take an Uber. And I'm just like, who does that? Who tells their pregnant wife to take an Uber? Unless it's like some freaking emergency, or unless you don't have a car. And I'm just like, wait, how do they have one car? Are they supposed to have two cars? Crowder got millions of subscribers. Where's that money going? And all the merch and subscription ships and stuff like that, it don't make sense. I'm just listening to this. True Crowder, I can't be on his side. He's already on my down low about, like, his opinions and stuff like that. The fact that he's spewing all this is insane. Because just the amount of stuff that he was saying within this whole entire bit right here, like, it's just heartbreaking. I know that divorces happen, arguments happen. From many other people that are married, there's this saying like, oh, you don't know your wife or your husband if you never argued, or something like that. And listen, I'm a single man. I don't have a wife or anything. Like, what you want from me? I've been in relationships. I've been in arguments. I know what it is. I know what it's like. But from hearing this, it is like, damn, Crowder went there. Like, oh my, like, no one's taking his side at this point. Not even in the far right. So I don't know what's going to happen from here of what he said, but he said a lot of things which I don't need to get into, but it just showcases of just like, wow, he's that much of an a-hole to actually just have that ego within him. Like, talking about, like, just controlling your wife. And listen, there's like nothing goes well when you control your wife. The woman you're supposed to freaking love, for the littlest things that you want, or whatever, the pleasure or something like that. Like, he's acting like such a king, and the wife is basically like, I'm sorry, I love you, stuff like that. No! Listen to what he's saying. Like, I don't know. I only heard bits of it. There's certain other stuff that he also said which really, really threw me off, and I'm just like, what? You can't say that. You just can't. You can't say that. And it's insane. Anyways, that's what my thoughts about it. I just want to share my thoughts. I share my thoughts on a lot of stuff, because, hey, we live in the real world. I'm going to share my thoughts about certain things that I find on the internet. Plain simple. This is what this series is, here in VinzTalk. I'm real with you. I either talk about stuff that I heard, or talk about my life, or talk to you guys. Other than that, also another news here, Quantum TV is going to jail. Not sure why. There's some amount, this sort of might be something has to do with about his spouse once again, which, okay, another story about a successful YouTuber that also is dealing with allegations of abuse. What is up with these abusers? I never understand that, Now, why would you ever take an abuser's side? Who is still following Crowder at this point is what I'm wondering, since that footage came out. The same thing that I never understand Chris Brown with his abuse, or I never understand this news about Soulja Boy, of just like him abusing, or just having these different things about courts and whatever. And he's out here flexing. Yeah, I'm Soulja Boy. Yeah, I'm stuff like all this stupid stuff, talking about you have a chain, your money, like, hey, I'm about to go to Vegas. Where you at? Stuff like it's just whack. Okay, it's like, what is it with them thinking they can walk scot-free? What price can they pay? Like, they better pay something, because this is insane, Like, I wish I can talk a little bit about the whole Soulja Boy thing, because he just annoys me. Listen, I grew up listening to him, Crank That, whatever it is, and also his moments in MTV. But I really hate him. Let me tell you, it's not just a freaking Soulja Boy console. My goodness. Why did he make that is what I'm trying to think. And also spit lies about like, oh, shout out to Atari. Yeah, Atari gave me this hat or whatever it is. And Atari? Anyways, but yeah, Quantum TV, like I heard, like he was like, there was always news about Quantum TV, especially about him, and also with, that whole thing that happened with Review Tech USA between them two, when it comes down to the copyright strikes. And whatever you talk about Quantum TV, you get strikes. So I never actually talked about it. I never was interested talking about Quantum TV, the stuff he said, all this other stuff. I just didn't care. I seen a video of him, and I always try to understand, like, especially that whole controversy going on of him striking out channels. I always try, or him giving the worst review of Skyrim, that he didn't do no research or whatever. I always try to understand, like, he seems okay to me. Like, that's what I remember saying, because I guess, I just move on to the other video and move on with my life. But I never understood, like, what was the whole context or stuff that he was going through, like, or stuff that he did. That never rang a bell to me, because I was never interested of actually hearing anything from Quantum TV. I could say the same thing about DSP, as well, but I don't know. Phil DSP or Danny SP. See, I kind of like almost forgot the name or something, because that's how much I'm not interested in it. I talk about stuff that is interesting, but this happens to be like one of the biggest news, that whole Quantum TV thing. So yeah, that's what's happening. Another news. This one is VTuber related, and I just remember it. It's not on my list, but I'm gonna talk about it. Apparently, Silvervale, Vebe, is moving out away from Vshojo. And listen, as I'm new to the whole VTuber community and whatever, this is like dropping your biggest people from that company, and like, dropping, like, the same thing when I talk about dropping off like Stephen Curry's, dropping off like Lakers, dropping off LeBron James. Vshojo, a company that promotes VTubers and also is a VTuber and like agency or whatever in America, I believe, is dropping one of their biggest ones, being Silvervale and Vebe. And now they tell, I like how these two tweet and they talk about, like, yeah, we're now indies or whatever. And they're going solo and stuff. And it made you wonder, like, what is it like in the agency? But also, they've been a part of Vshojo and the whole lore, and you got Silvervale talking about, like, yeah, the whole lore is stupid, which I kind of agree. The whole lore about, like, because they made lores about, like, oh, Kason is this, Iron Mouse is this, oh, Silvervale is a wolf from the magical kingdom, and all of this is all put together, and like, I guess none of it counts, because, all of that is just, like, just, like, made up or whatever for story, like, for something. I'm trying to understand with the whole lore thing. You try to build lore, like, listen, as a writer, when you build lore, you stick to it. You stick with you, like. But when it comes down to, like, what if I made a lore about, like, for the Warriors, for the basketball team, the Golden State Warriors, and I talk about Stephen Curry's, like, he's been part of them for ever since, been dreaming of this every day, and also as they grow up, they become wise to teach the young Warriors and the young generations of their time of the arts of basketball. And then freaking Stephen Curry gets traded because California is too expensive to live. It's just the most stupidest thing. Like, you can't build lore of real people. It doesn't work. I'm not gonna build a lore like OTK, like, of the many big YouTubers that are part of OTK. Like, I believe Moist Critical, and also like Soda Poppin', which is funny because Soda Poppin' is also like the husband or the boyfriend of Vebe. I think that's why Vebe left. But Soda Poppin', like, building some lore behind a team. Like, imagine building a lore of FaZe Crew. Imagine building a lore of freaking the Webtoon ambassadors. You got Ronald, you got SL, you got, like, different artists as well, Ray, Pookie Senpai, and all that, and they all move on and transfer to another, like, team and stuff like that. And listen, it's a cool thing. It's cute. Okay, hey, thank you for building lore where I'm the Bowser of the group. Not really, but I hope that doesn't happen. I'm a good guy. I'm just too damn honest, I guess. But like, building a lore or something just never sticks. A lot of times it's always cool to actually build like a compilation or just like a little folder or some, like, no, a banner of all the, like, characters, all the voice actors. But what if those voice actors aren't voice actors anymore? What if they're gone? Like you can't have the same thing with like, for example, a popular shoe company makes a team of like, I'm pulling this from the skateboard community of just like, oh, Nike having their top tier skaters, skateboarders or athletes on a freaking poster. But you only got like at least like three in there that are not part of Nike anymore. They just move on to Adidas. They move on to like New Balance. They move on to the other stuff. They just quit Nike because that's their decision. And a lot of times, yeah, it makes sense. Like, sort of like where this is going for them. They said they were stressful about it. They said they couldn't handle it. Like, and to me, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand what people's listen. As a person that is trying to be successful within YouTube, I can never understand the struggles of actually being part of these agencies, being part being part of OTK, being part of a team, being part of like this person is part of Phase or whatever. I never understand that. I never, because a lot of times I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? Because I'm an independent creator. I got no team. I mean, Webtoon is sort of, as I'm climbing up to be part of them. But I got no team. I got no one, all right? I'm solo. You think I got any sponsors or something like that? Not really. I'm literally solo dolo, okay? Just out here just doing my thing, and I just have a whole bunch of Webtoon content, and that's what I do. Doesn't mean like I'm like that obligated or listed for them. It just means that, I'm a fan and I love them and I want to be working with them, but doesn't mean I'm at the moment part of them right now. The same thing with some of these other big YouTubers, something like, you think PewDiePie is part of like some freaking big company other than YouTube? Like, I don't know that. I really don't, okay? Because for many people, we're just so complex. I guess we choose something else. And for these, like with, Silvervale choosing, basically Vebe and Silvervale queen this, it's sad because Vshojo created them. They're models. So what's going to happen to their models? What's going on with everything else that's going to happen to these? Like, are they going to start showing their faces now? Like, showing really who they are? Like, I get people growing up, but there's always been that kind of thing. There's always that kind of, like, I don't know if I'm pulling off like a card from Fast and Furious or from the hip-hop community that I'm part of. There's just something about loyalty. And there's a part of me where this is sort of disloyal of like the people that were there for you, that care for you, stuff like that. For example, like a crew that actually had one of their favorite, like a rap group. And some people are part of that rap group. But, as they grow up, they start to go indie and they start to be by themselves, going solo. But they still are a part of that, I feel like for me, if I had a crew, especially a dance crew that I'm part of or something like that, that's the crew that I rep no matter what success that gives me. Especially if it's a one that I created or if it's a one that I've been part of since elementary, since I was a little kid, just carrying the tradition like, yo, I rep this crew, not this gang. That's different. I rep this crew. I represent this crew, but I'm also, this ambassador. I'm also like a successful person, but I'm still here. There's a beauty behind that, especially if like, say, for example, a popular skateboarder is like, left like a small sponsor, like, for example, Birdhouse or something like that. Birdhouse is not a small sponsor, like Birdhouse Element, but they grow up and, they never left it because it's still part of them no matter what. It's kind of like having a tattoo, a part of you to carry that. But, that's just my analogy for it. I don't know. That's just what I'm trying to give. But yeah, that's it for the news for now. Long amount of news. My bad. Next up, we're going to talk about gaming. I think one of them involves like, from Kind of Funny, like Greg being 4 years old or whatever, and did a little birthday. I got out the stream because, listen, I try to talk to chat because I get it's a big chat, but also I guess I forgot about it when I saw the whole stream or whatever. But as a person that is supportive and a fan of Kind of Funny, it's always a group that I always want to come back and meet. I hope they have Kind of Funny live at some point because I miss that. Next up, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I don't know why I put this. I heard there's like a bad PC ports for it. And I've been wanting to play the last freaking Star Wars Jedi. Like, for these games, I hope that a PS4 emulator comes soon so I can freaking play these. Next up is, TCG made something like a gaming port or whatever. I don't know, like game port of 100,000 games. And I'm thinking of getting one myself, 100,000 games. But also I've been looking at ways of how the heck do you plug this in or whatever. So that's kind of like another thing that you have to figure out, or I have to figure out. But other than that, animation news, I'm just rolling by these quickly because I don't have a lot. Uh, Ruby is done. Yeah, Ruby Volume 9 is done. I just finished my review for it. I just need to upload it on YouTube, and that'll be it. And yeah, it was the finale. A lot of people were talking about it, the expectations for it, especially surrounding, the mothers of Team Ruby. That's another conversation, but it's done. It's kind of crazy how it went by so fast. I'm really gonna miss the reactions of so many other these people that make Ruby content surrounding this anime because it's something that I'm definitely gonna miss. The conversation, the attachment of the community behind it was always something fulfilling. It really does feel like it not only feels like a class of fun, but also felt something like more of a club, a group. I almost said family, but I wouldn't say that because they don't freaking know me and I don't know them. That's the only time I would say like, oh, your family, and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, it's like a club. It's like a class, and I guess this is the final exam for it. Speaking of final exams is really coming soon for most people that are at school here, according to my Discord. But yeah, also there's this anime that I've been watching called Oshi no Koi, and it's been a recommended anime by the Anime Man, and man, it is so good. There's just something emotional about it, something deep. It talks about it. I can't spoil it, but you gotta check it out. Oshi no Ko. Music, I heard just gained like, a certain amount of millions or whatever. And also, I've been getting back to One Piece. I've been trying my best to finish Skypiea. So that's been, something good for me. Keep an eye for more streams and also for more like, BO content, stuff like that. I'm still waiting for the rights for boy girlfriend, but I'm also waiting for boyfriends, okay? And if those come, this channel will be growing 10 times quicker as it's already is. I just hit like 11,500 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for that. Other than that, I'll see ya, and yeah, one love and a peace.